All right. All right. All right. Stations. Let me pick a station. Uh, I like this station. All right. Okay. Hey, Dark Bess. Hey, Andrew. All right. So today we are gonna have a quick guess, or not even a quick. How was the movie? Oh, Dark Bess. I watched it alive. I thought it was good, but I thought the ending was dumb. Hey, Big J. Hey, Blazin and Leo. I thought the ending was too fairy tale. Like, it was going good, and then they just ended the movie in like 5 minutes, and it was dumb. So, aside from that, it was a really good movie. Hashtag alive. All right, let's bring on Boomin. Get skulled without spending money? Sure, spend 50,000 gems. Hey, Leo. Vaguely. No, Breeze, it's an old movie, but it's on Discord, or Netflix, sorry. All right. Hello.
Hey there.
Long time no talk, I guess.
Yeah,
It's been, oh my god. We did one community Miracle Eyes, and then that was it.
it must have been at least, what, like almost 2 years now?
Hey, Bios. Breeze says hi. Oh, you can read the chat. Wait, I guess if you hop on the stream, you can see the chat too.
Yeah, I should be able to. I might be a little behind, right? Because you've got YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like 5 seconds behind, 5 to 10.
Okay.
Not too bad. Uh, hey, Cash. Yeah, that was a long time ago, and that was a big stream for me because I finished my Phoenix on that one. Oh man.
Yeah, I remember. I think we had a couple people on there with you, and everyone seemed to have pretty good pulls. That was a good stream.
It's so nice having a community stream where everybody does good because then you don't feel bad about pulling and I don't know, having decent luck or something. So, I guess I wanted to see like what are your thoughts on where the game is doing right now?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think it. All right, well, the game has changed a lot. Like, I'll give you some background, and I'm sure most people know who I am, but just in case,
Oh yeah.
um, I have two usernames, right? So it might get confusing. On GT1, my username is BoominB, but on my YouTube and everything, I'm on the channel called Team Taptap. So if you don't know that connection, there's that.
I feel
Also,
like I've mentioned you more than a few times.
okay, cool. That's good. So people know. And actually, I did have another account on GT 3 that was called Team Tap Tap. So if anyone remembers that I mean I don't play it anymore, but that was also me. Um, but yeah, let's see. I used to stream a lot and about for Tap Tap Hero specifically. Then I didn't really drop the game, but I definitely stopped streaming and like kind of went on like just doing my dailies and definitely stopped spending because I just wasn't invested anymore in it.
Right, right.
This was around. Remember how it took a really long time to get into uh from uh from T10 or from 10 star?
Oh
That
man.
update, there was a big gap, and during that time I had kind of gotten the team that I had wanted, and I was like, all right, I'm done, I did it. And then a long time later they came out with the new stars. So I ended up taking a break then. Actually, I was playing really hardcore when Mars released. During that time, like Mars and Chesia, I was like, that's the last time I really spent because I really wanted a full heaven or a full hell team or a mix
Oh.
of 3-3. That was like my
Yeah.
dream for a long time. And so that was that was like kind of a big highlight to my time playing. And then after that, I took a break, and most of you guys who do know me know that Blake basically ran most of the decisions on the account, aside from like who are we upgrading?
I thought he just took control of it, and then you played every now and then, and that was it.
Yeah, we kept up, like, and we talked all the time on Discord, right? But he basically was like, "Hey, this is what's going on. Like, do you think we should do this?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, go for it." And personally, I was at a point where like I was basically done, so I was like, if you want to build two Freyas, you build two Freyas. Like, it's on you. Like, it's fine. I don't mind. And then because originally I hated duplicates. If anybody remembers, I used to think like it was
See, I
heresy to build two of the same units. It made me so upset. So
you and oh hey Dominic, oh my God, you and Pogi would get along great, right?
yeah, I think he told me he had that similar stance. I just always bothered me that the game even allowed it, so I was like trying not to do it, but eventually I caved, right? Because Phoenix specifically was so good, and it was like really hard to keep up when, she was giving. There's a point in time. All right, I know I'm going on kind of a little rant. I tend to do these when
No
I'm
problem, no
streaming.
problem.
Sorry about that. But there was a point in time where Phoenix had released, and then some of the big whales would get copies by spending through all the events, things like that. And then, like a couple months later, it seemed like every event reward was a Phoenix. You had like keys. I think it was a Miracle Eyes. You had the uh, secret treasure. Like I feel like Phoenixes were dropping everywhere. So you had people who were making. Remember when they would group the not GT, the servers in like
See,
clusters?
I can't even remember that because I was everybody had the double Phoenix teams, and I couldn't
Uh
get a
huh.
second one at all. So I was
No,
getting wrecked.
that's what I'm saying. There were people like us who were like longtime players that were struggling to get Phoenixes because we had either already done all our spending and things like that at the beginning when we first started playing. There were people who were joining towards the end of clusters and being stronger than all the teams at the beginning because the Phoenix events were lining up perfectly for their
Oh, yeah.
spending spree. So these whales would have like two Phoenixes, two Valks, like so early. When I used to remember thinking, all right, if I were a huge spender, I would still have to wait so long for Nameless Kings to come out. They were just never provided. Like there's no way to get it. I have to wait until an event comes around or I get super lucky. But back then, I feel like every package had a Phoenix in it, and it was just like randomly I just like saw all these new accounts. People just had Phoenixes. I was like, I won't build two. I won't build two. And then eventually I caved. I was like, gotta have two because I can't keep up without it. She's so good. She
I
dominated the game.
God, Nameless King. I remember Arkin and his Nameless King killed everyone for the longest time at the very beginning. Like back
Yep.
when Nameless King was just the
Yep.
strongest hero in the game.
Uh huh. That's so crazy to think about now, seeing as like no one uses name as king. But
Yeah.
there's there's definitely a time where I thought if I don't have Nameless King, then I can't even be considered a top player because it's like he's just so strong. I remember the Den of Secret stages with Nameless King were just such a pain.
Hai Nguyen, I would say Valkyrie. Skull T3 isn't going to help you right now. Shameless King. Oh man. That was my mistake. I said Shameless King by mistake. Kianon, there are no Arwen leaks yet. God, I'm very curious about Arwen.
Me too. I'm not very good at keeping up with leaks, but when they finally do confirm, like, 'cause, they always have that, like, oh, here's a leak, but
Uh-huh.
then it's not really what it is. So I'm done being baited by that, So I really wait until, okay, we have good confirmation that this is what the hero
That's
does.
that's actually true. When they announced how they were changing heroes and they're like, "Oh, Scarlet's going to work better with poison heroes," and then that's not what
Yep.
happened.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
They're
I was so sad when they pretended to buff Shude Mel cuz I was like, "Shude's going to be good again. I can use her again." And nope. That I was very sad about that. And then I ended up breaking my Shude Mel cuz I'm like, "Well, that's it. She had her time and they failed her."
Well, now that you bring that up, I'll go ahead and mention I broke down my Scarlet.
Oh, you
So
did.
yeah, um, sorry. Just she is like one of my favorite heroes. So it's like it's not just that it didn't work out, but it's like I really wanted her to be good because it was a hero like since the beginning that I used. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, she's just not viable until they fixed her, and I don't know if I wanted to wait that long because I would.
Hey,
Taptap is
Minato.
all about waiting.
It is, but you can. There's like smart waiting, and then there's just like, I don't know, waiting and doing nothing in the meantime, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
And
NDG. Sorry, I was reading your chat.
no problem. Uh, Dominic, you should go for it. Get over your depression. So wait, I just lost my train of thought. I
I forgot
completely.
what we were talking about.
Yeah. So Scarlet, like, God, she was so good. That she was so good they had to nerf her,
Yeah.
and then she just faded into obscurity.
You
Oh.
know, there was a video I put out like a long time ago talking about their first update, and they actually changed like there's just something like 20 heroes. And looking back on it, I recently went back because someone had mentioned it, and I was like, wait, like Wolf Rider got nerfed? Like, there's all these weird changes. You think like there's no
Oh
way
my
that was
God.
good back then, but
I don't even
it actually
remember
happened.
that. But yeah, that was like that's too early. I don't think I was
Yeah.
paying enough attention back then. D. Jason, no, I don't think I'm gonna mess up to or do too much gameplay today. Um,
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I'm
n-
taking up Akari's time.
Turn up his sound. All right, I can turn up your. Wait, can I turn up your sound? Uh-oh, I don't know how to do that.
Here. Maybe it's me just. Can you hear me fine?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Actually, oh, I know how I can do it. No, no, that's not how I want to do it. I can do this. Okay, let's try that, and then we'll lower this. Oh, music is gonna be like nothing. Yeah, basically the volume would have to go up on your end because I don't have.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
so
I.
if I'm remembering how we did the early teams, because we had so few options, that was when like Ultima came into
Yes.
play
Yes. You're
as the
right.
difference maker. And so now we're slowly hitting a range where Ultima is coming back into play and Pogi is
Uh
like the pioneer. And it's funny that
huh.
he's the pioneer of it now when we did pioneer it in the beginning and then just never went back to it.
I think. I'll be honest with you. I did not like really understand the Ultima thing until it got used against me, and it didn't always work like that. I always there's some times where I'm like, oh, this is probably good. I just don't have the resources to make it right. But the Ultima thing, I always thought, well, I got baited again. Tap Tap really tricked me. But my thought process back in the day was Gerald release. Do you remember Gerald? Like,
Yes.
okay, Gerald was a new hero. Like some people may not know this, but he was not part of the originals, right? So Gerald was a new hero, and I thought to myself, all right, Tap Tap is basically like idle heroes, and gotcha games like that tend to release OP heroes. And for
Your
some,
mic is cutting in and out, actually. I'm not
oh,
sure
is
what's
it?
up. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Okay. All right. I think that should be better.
Yeah, but also I did not remember Gerald not being in the initial game. Really?
Correct. He was not an initial hero. So he came out as like the first new hero to the game. And I remember thinking reading his kit like beforehand and thinking, all right, this hero is going to be like so good just because it's a new hero, right? They will never release a bad hero. That's just like before I even knew like how the game worked, right? So
Okay.
and then I said, okay, so Gerald has stuns, and let me see who else has stuns. And I saw, I saw Tesla. Like, all right, I'm gonna make this work. And I was like one of the first people to put Gerald and Tesla together, thinking stun combo. This is gonna be great.
I
And
remember that.
yeah,
I
I
remember that.
I really regret that decision.
Good night, Dominic. Thanks for stopping in, and I hope you feel better. And one sec. Murad, make Freya. Murad, you should focus on a T4 at a time.
Oh yeah, okay.
Uh,
If I'm talking and someone has a question, just interrupt me. I'll stop. It's more important to give people's answers in.
and hey, Qatar, and oh, wait. Okay. No, we're good. I remember when we were discussing initial synergy, Scarlet Centaur was at the top, but then I
Exactly.
think you were bringing around Gerald Tesla.
Oh, it
God,
didn't work. But
Tesla
I
was my
wanted it
first six
to.
star too. And
Oh, was it?
yeah, I was so happy when I made him. And I was like, should I? He's not that good. And then I made him. He's like, he's amazing. And then I
Yeah.
kept him for a long time. And then Perebel tried to like turn him into some sort of superstar, which he wasn't. And
Yeah.
that,
He had the death stun that I always thought like, how can I get this to work? And it just never did.
and yeah, oh my God, we had so much. Well, Perebel had fun thinking up teams. I was so behind the eight ball. I was just like making whatever I could. I
There was
remember making Abyss Lord and thinking he was awesome.
No, you're not the only one, by the way. A lot of people used to think at the very beginning that the first position, the tank role,
Uh
in the
huh.
in your sixth formation, had to be a super tank. So Abyss Lord was really popular. Like Abyss Lord and Minotaur
And
were really
Walnir.
popular. Yep, and Wolnir. Okay, if you go to the Reddit, the Tap Heroes Reddit, and you scroll, or not scroll, but sort by oldest, um, the oldest post ever made. I think the oldest post ever made on that Reddit was like, "Who is the best tank?" And someone put Wooln there because he has a ton of health. And little did we know that the meta would form into no one using tank, like everyone using Ultima or Scarlet or like, someone who would just die just to like proc Reaper damage or all this like. No one was using tank, so everyone who built this sword and Wolnir just kind of got screwed later on.
Good night, Dominic. Man. But now, so now that we're in a state where everybody has like so many team options, are you
Yeah.
happy having that many options?
All right, good question. So, I do think it's much better for the game to have multiple options, right? But I also think that the I call them kits, but the abilities, like all the abilities combined on one hero, I think they have so much to them that it's hard to specialize, right? I I think that because each hero has all these crazy effects, and they have to, right? Because the new hero always has to either change the game or make you want to build them over your old team, or else people will quit playing. I
Yeah,
understand that,
yeah.
right?
Although I thought they got a little bit too complicated with what they were adding for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's just way too much stuff for each hero that what ends up happening is I think some of the new heroes could have been two or three heroes, right? Like you could have split those things up and had more heroes, and then we would see even more diverse teams. Because
I want to agree with that, but at the same time, looking at how games force you to wail for one hero at a time, for
yeah,
that,
getting
it doesn't
copies would be
fit.
rough.
And yeah, getting copies
Getting
is
copies
hard,
would be really difficult because there'd be
but
a bigger hero pool,
then
right?
it would like really individualize the team because
Exactly.
wow, that's not much. So Nathan asks which 10 stars are from the original and not new heroes. So we can go through that real quick. Is
Yeah.
Watchman, Saizo, Valkyrie, Martin were added to the game. Everyone else was in the game initially. Olivia did not have a 10 star.
Hmm.
Yig, Kurt, Phoenix, Lexar, Bloodtooth, and that's it. These five were not in the game. Everyone else was. Lorelei,
Got reworked,
Dro,
so it wasn't even the
Veg,
same.
Centaur. I think just those four, actually. No, not Centaur. Sorry. Lorelei, Dro, Veg. God, who got added? I think that's it. Did Elf really have that many heroes back then?
Uh, yeah, it did.
I. That's
I
crazy.
remember.
I know these three are new. I don't think any of the other seven are new.
No, you're right.
Grand? No,
No,
Grand
Grand
was
is
in the game.
original. Yeah,
He's
he's original. He did get a slight rework on his main ability, I think.
A lot of
But
people got small reworked, but
yep,
sadly, anyone that got reworked prior to the T4 update
yes,
kind of got
didn't
shafted.
exactly. Yeah,
No,
those.
yeah,
You're
guys,
right.
Grand was always in the game.
He
And he
was.
did get reworked with his defense drain and healing, but it didn't help him. So here we have Aegina, Detlef, Shude, Ripper, and Aiden, and
Yep,
I guess Gerald. That I
Gerald.
don't remember that, but
Yeah.
it looks really uneven actually. And here, oh my god, in 10-star here, it was only Nameless King. The
Yep.
other 5 were not in the game.
Uh
So
huh.
that's why Nameless King as the initial VIP reward
Uh
was
huh.
so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
Pogi.
crazy. Nameless King, and then when Verthandi and Monkey King came out, I just freaked out. Like, as soon as Verthandi and Monkey King released, I was like, these heroes are going to break the game. Like, no one is even close. Like, just reading, before they released, just reading their skills, right? I was just
Uh-huh.
like, no one can compete with Monkey King used to be stronger than he is right now, by the way. That's crazy to think of. But he actually got nerfed after the first, like, couple months. He was so strong. At one
Uh
point, if you didn't have a Monkey King, you couldn't push.
I I was the first one to have a Monkey King. That I can say with certainty. I was the first one in the world with a 10-star Monkey King. Maybe 9,
You,
but I don't remember.
I don't know about 9. It might have been Arkin. He was still really big back then,
Then it
as far
might
as
be
like.
10. It might be
Oh,
10.
for sure you were definitely 10, but I just don't know about 9.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Freya was in the game, and Verthandi, or no, Nameless King was in the game, and that's it. Not even Verthandi. Verthandi and Monkey King got added together much
Yeah,
later. Or not much later, but they were the first new heroes to be added into the game, if I recall.
I think you're right. Yeah, because there were no Heaven and Hell heroes outside of the Nameless King of Freya, so they had to add someone, right?
Kai Kiet and Gamer Pro. Um, yeah, so when they came out with these two, they changed. That actually was kind of a point where I was sick of the game because I'm like, how can they release the rarest heroes as the new heroes? Like nobody can get those. They were
Yeah.
so hard to get back then.
Remember, people need to remember we didn't have Moon Shop or whatever. We didn't have Moonstones to where we could just buy specific copies. We a lot of people ended up having to build their teams based off of Soul Shop because
Murad, the best was Nameless King. Far and away, he
yep.
was the best hero in the game. And Rohit, don't do that. Um, wow. Yeah, so and not only that, we couldn't even do events 3 times. It was 1 time.
Oh yeah, yeah, true.
And then they weren't even on a regular cycle back then. They were like sometimes 4 weeks apart because of like Tavern was a full event, Fuse was a full event, and
Oh, Guild Tech. Yeah, Poogie's asking about Guild Tech. That
did
was really big because of speed. Like,
did it?
initially, actually, do you want to bring it up on your screen so people can see?
Bring up your screen.
Oh, Guild Tech. Yeah, on yours.
Oh yeah, I've got it
Yeah.
up.
Okay. Oh, I'm 6 seconds or whatever behind. So sorry if I'm behind. But we didn't have nearly as many points. So
Oops,
you have
sorry.
to remember, back then it was kind of like, let's see, at least the way I did it was not optimal. Essentially always bought the cheapest thing because similar to like how it works now, that except for speed, right? Speed is
Except
one
for
of the
speed.
outlier. Like it's its own thing. But the other stats, the more you get, it's not as useful, right? So I always thought, I'll optimize my guild coins by putting them always in the lowest, except for assassin. Oh, sorry, assassins got nothing because I never built them and they were so bad for so long. Assassins were so terrible.
They
In fact, I
still
used to.
are.
I know it's sad too because I really had hope for Lindbergh when he released, and it was just. But anyway,
Cash, take Verthandi. You don't need Ripper when you have Reaper. And Gerson, I don't play Valorant. Assassins, were they bad from the beginning? I don't think they were because this dodge, remember, this didn't go up to 50. It only went
it
up to
didn't. Yeah.
30.
Yep. All
So
of these. don't have nearly as much points as they do now.
So we didn't struggle to against dodge nearly as much as we do now.
Mm-hmm.
So were there any good assassins? There really weren't.
There was not.
Because at the beginning, I don't think any of the good there were no 10-star assassins that were like any good at all. Ripper was trash back then. We all knew that. Aiden was okay when he first came out. When they came out with Lindbergh, he was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." Zexanoth was bad from day one.
He
Poor
was
guy.
bad, yeah. And people kind of knew he was bad, so no one even bothered building him. Like,
I built an 8-star, and I believe I still have it in my inventory from the very, very beginning of the game when he came out.
Yeah.
I never.
It was so sad. I actually built Dark Judge, whatever, and I used him for a long time just because I couldn't get a Freya. I used that guy for a very long time. So sad.
That sounds familiar. That was me and Heaven's Judge. I had Heaven's Judge too.
Oh yeah, nice. We had the opposite.
Hey,
Although,
Goober.
There was some people that thought Heaven's Judge was good. This is before 10-star. Like
He was. He had good stun back then.
Yeah.
He was just
good damage.
He was just a glass cannon. So
Yep, exactly. But people thought he could be used, but once they released 10-star and he didn't get a version, they were like, oh wait, now like everyone who had built him foddered him after that.
a good hit rate artifact. Minato Holy Light Justice comes with hit rate already. The problem is that Lindbergh would still want speed or energy because he's so fast. So giving him hit rate alone just doesn't help him enough. He still ends up being too slow to hit the people that matter.
This is off topic, but on the assassin thing, I really wish that all assassins should outspeed clerics, just thematically. They should outspeed everyone because they're assassins.
Hi, Melody.
They should have either control resist or dodge. Just like thematically, assassins aren't supposed to get locked down. The downside to assassins, obviously, they do single target damage. Like, again, thematically that makes sense, but in Taptap, realistically, the meta has always revolved around heroes that hit everyone. Like, and why pick a hero that does a ton of damage to one guy when you can pick a hero that does a ton of damage to everyone? So mages have always been really good.
So then that goes into how Guild Tech changed up the meta, Pogi, because adding that extra 40 speed to clerics, I think changed up a lot.
It was so annoying, and I knew beforehand. I had a review of a video like Guild Tech saying, "Look how good speed is in the game, and clerics are getting it." And then I remember thinking when Shud Mel released, I was like, "This is not fair. Like this hero is supposed to be like a Vivian, where like you know heal your team up over time." But it ended, and she had all this silence thing, which was annoying. But take that out of it. The fact that she could cast so early, and like you had these hots rolling on your heroes the whole fight, I really thought that Shud Mel was going to be like meta for a long time, and she was, right, Akari? Like some people were using Shud Mel for like a year. I feel like
I used her forever. I used her until T4 came out, I think, and then I had to give her up.
they were.
So I guess if you think about it, then you look at Zexanoth, who's probably the fastest base unit in the game, at 1259 here versus, let's see, let's take, who's a fast cleric? Well, we'll take Shude. Shude is 1288. So without that 40 speed, Zexanoth was faster than Shude. Think about that. That is, so that was the point where clerics overtook everything. And I guess when the cleric meta came out, and is Lindbergh faster than Zex? I thought they were the same. Nope, they're both 1259.
Yeah, they. By the way, the Chesia and Mars kind of released together. Lindbergh, like they, for some reason, initially the devs always wanted to release a Heaven and a Hell hero together. Like they, I don't know if it's like for the lore, but they always like looked kind of similar, and they were the same class. And they had sometimes they would have the same speed because of that. And yeah, Zizanoth and Lindbergh were that way.
Oh, you say Zizanoth.
I don't know.
Oh, Mars is slower or faster than Chesia. Is a hero? Is there a hero who has fallen more badly than Dro? Probably
Yeah.
not.
Drew, I don't know. There's some. Let me think.
And it's not even that Dro fell off. It's actually, I guess it is. It's that her utility got outclassed by Lorelei. And then because Unity is gone, the aura is gone. Now you have no need for hero. You have no need to force an elf. Sonam,
Yeah.
really? Someone that looks like me? That's crazy. No, Pogi! Oh, you're right. I swore I would never say that again. And I did. Oh, man. Never again, Pogi. Never again will I mention his name in that pronunciation. Cash Sizo was never actually good.
Yeah. I wanted him to be good, but
Okay.
unfortunately, didn't get the buffs he needed.
Gosh, remember the Dro versus Luna debate? We had that for a while.
Well, okay. Luna by itself is just. I've been haunted by that hero for the first year the game released. The Ultima Luna combo. Remember the synergy about Gerald and Tesla? How like, oh, they both stun, they would work together, and then people were like, oh, Centaur Scarlet, that's a good combo. No, both of those are garbage compared to Ultima and Luna. Those two heroes together could beat every team that was like possible. You could have two Nameless Kings and still lose to Ultima Luna. This is early on, 9-star, because you have to remember, like, mass AoE CC was not a thing on the original heroes. Luna was the only one who could do that, but her issue was speed, right? Like, you just outspeed her and try to CC her, but not with Ultima. Ultima would always,
Well, there was
buff.
Freya, but I don't think she was fast enough.
Remember, Freya got reworked, actually.
Really?
What it was. Yes, Freya initially did not petrify as often as she does now. Man,
She's only at 30% at 10 stars.
Yeah, but I don't know if it hit everyone initially.
Huh. That
I'll
I don't
double check it,
remember.
though.
Hey,
Because I might
HBN.
have an old video. I can look it up. But I remember Freya got changed slightly. It may have been. Wait a second. Didn't when Freya drop, like she would get a huge skill damage boost? Let me double check something.
Well, she gets that now. I think she didn't have that back then.
She didn't have that before, and I remember pushing some stages by tank Freya.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because before that wasn't possible with her. Let me see.
Mr. Devil Grand is trash. Murad, that is true. The Aura update did bring Themis really more into the limelight. And let me see. Bones, Valkyrie or Lorelei. I prefer Valkyrie because she brings some damage too. But honestly, both of those are pretty good.
Okay, hold on. I could have sworn when Freya dropped below 35% of her health, she gained a 250% skill damage increase.
What?
I think that's what she used to have.
I don't remember that. You know what? You know why I don't remember that? Probably because it got changed before I ever got a copy of Freya.
Maybe. That's
Hi,
what
Ivan.
she used to do. And so people would, or me specifically, I don't know if anyone else did, but I would tank with her on only on PvE stages because it was all RNG, right? Most of the time she would die, but if she could survive barely under 35% and then cast her skill, tons of damage. So, yeah, it's funny.
Bones. Actually, that's a tough one. If you want to have 3 damage dealers versus 2 damage dealers with 3 supports or whatever, that depends more on your opponents than anything else. That's the problem with where the meta is right now, is that there's no more one best team. There is only what is the best way to counter the most of the people that fight against me. So actually, I had to remove Olivia from my team because she loses really badly to Demon Fighter. Like or Demon Hunter, I'm sorry. She loses really badly to him. She beats everybody else on GT1, but against him, she just doesn't work. That's like, oh, that hurt to try.
Yeah. That's what the game's pretty interesting because like what you just mentioned, people always ask, "Hey, what's the best hero?" I was like, it really depends. With the meta, the way that it is right now, your best hero is dependent on who you fight against on your server. So, um, yeah, it's really hard to give people advice, you know. I know you do it a lot, but unless you have the full picture, it's really hard to give someone 100% certainty this is the best hero. Like a good example would be if you're on a server who or on a server with people who aren't whaling and you are, then you actually have the freedom to build some heroes that normally wouldn't survive this kind of fight because you're fighting against people who um, don't have the hero that counters yours. So,
That
like you
is
said,
true.
Olivia is a good example, right? It
So
could work on someone
182 David, double Kurt gets wrecked by Azathoth. Actually, it's not Azathoth that wrecks double Kurt. It's more like Azathoth counters other things, and maybe you have like a Vivienne that gets countered by Azathoth. Vivienne becomes very dangerous when the opponent has an Azathoth. So it really is not just him.
Yeah, that conversation you just had about Azoth and Kurt. I'd been thinking about that today because I thought I really thought the meta before Azoth like was being used more would be double Kurt. I really thought double Kurt was going to be what everyone was running. Um, and it might be like people might actually go ahead and do that. I don't know that I'm not. You probably have a much better idea of what like the general player base.
In general, you're gonna see Kurt Themis more often than double Kurt.
Really? Okay, interesting.
A lot of people still have trouble getting multiple Kurts, and if they do, they split him up for like
Yeah.
honor.
That makes sense. He's so strong. I think nowadays, I never thought it would happen, but I think not like the Phoenix era for Horde Hero is finally over, right? So Kurt is just so strong.
Gum, I'm gonna be pulling 2 rounds. That way, if I pull 2 rounds, I should be able to get enough keys for 3 rounds next time. If Arwen comes out, which we don't know yet. Murad, 90% win rate with Vivienne if there's no Azathoth. I don't think it's 90. I can see like 70 depending on your opponents, but definitely not 90 unless the quality of your opponents is really bad.
I, I think Azazoth is super strong, and I think that hero should have come out much earlier. Like, imagine Azazoth, not with everything, but at least with the suffered healing during Shunmel reign. Like
Oh
Shunmel,
no, that would have changed everything.
the game would have been so different. Like you would have, in honor, you would have had to avoided Azazoth teams with your Shunmel team just because of how much she healed.
Yeah. And then when Dro came out and we were spamming shoot
Yep.
Dro,
Yep.
Azathoth would just killed that.
That is not a fun meta to remember, Kari. I did not enjoy the healing meta.
It was fun for me because I had them. Actually, I didn't have Dro. You had Dro earlier than I did, and then I know you were dominating people with Lunas for a while.
Yeah. Well, only because I got dominated by it first. I remember Arkin and some other people, they always had this Luna thing. Always had to have Luna, and I was like, fine, I can only fight Luna with Luna, which is really annoying. But back then, we didn't have as many options, you know?
Oh man. Okay, let me see. Was there a I will be pulling for Arwen. Definitely I will be. I forgot what I was gonna say. I really lost my train of thought again. Dang it.
Someone asked a question, and I think I might have missed it.
Oh yeah, I was
About
curious what your progress is on Azathoth.
that's my convert.
That's your convert?
Not convert, sorry. What was it called? The Phoenix Stones, the return for Scarlet.
Oh, so now you've got Azathoth?
You do.
Great.
I thought he was too strong to pass up.
I don't know if he's that strong, but oh god. I'm looking at your team in
viability.
I'm looking at your honor team with Azathoth, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Ah, oh, good old Azathoth.
Alright. I see a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer if you have a second.
Alright, go for it.
Someone asked what I thought about T3 abilities. I think it's cool. I like that update only because it differentiates the not auras, factions more. think the factions were kind of useless outside of the. Well, once remember they changed the team auras. What are they called?
Just
Really bad
auras, I
name.
think.
Yeah, the one where you wanted one of each one.
Oh, Unity?
Unity aura, that's right. They changed that to not being required anymore. It was almost required just because all the other auras were kind of bad, right? Outside of that, and the fact that some factions counter other factions, you didn't really have that big of a difference between them. You know, like why not just build 8 Horde heroes if all the Horde heroes are better? Well, this is why T3 abilities give you some more diversity on like, well, maybe build this Hell hero because I need this CC removal or whatever, or bubble, things like that, or the speed on the alliance. I think it's harder to balance the game because of that, but also I like the idea that factions matter more now.
Huh. I don't really see the factions mattering more so much as stacking heaven and hell for the crowd control resist, but
Now it does, yeah. But remember back then you couldn't do that. Oh, unless you had 3-3, which still wasn't good as Unity, or full 6, which was impossible unless you made a bunch of duplicates. The auras were really bad. You had to have Unity.
Kurt Themis, Azathoth, Phoenix, Scold. I feel like that's overkill. Mr. Devil, Watchman really is only good when you have like 2 high burst heroes. Otherwise, his emergency shield isn't strong enough. Okay, so Bios is saying the T3 for Heaven and Hell is too imbalanced compared to the other factions.
Yeah, but Heaven and Hell should be the strongest. Right? I mean, that's just my opinion.
I think my only issue with it is that the elf and undead one are trash. Or like the elf one, there's no point in picking the other one, and undead is neither of them are really good.
I don't like the elf ones. I will definitely agree with that one. I don't like either of them. One, they don't make sense because it's worded incorrectly or whatever. And 2, they're just like kind of boring. The Horde ones I think are well done. You have an option for tank and you have an option for damage. So I'm fine with those, but yeah, definitely the elf one's bad. But yeah, the Heaven and Hell ones are strong, but like I said, I think Heaven and Hell should naturally be stronger. And I know they switched the aura to already make them better, but it's not like huge, right? You can still run like not that many Heaven and Hells and win. So.
I remember your Heaven and Hell 9-star team. Oh God.
I love that team. That was the dream team. When Mars came out, I think I was like VIP 6 or something. And when Mars released, I was like, I have to have him, and I just because I really wanted that third. Remember, I already had Birth and I already had Nameless King. I needed Mars.
But I also remember you admitting that it was actually a pretty bad team.
Yes. Because you have to remember that right when I got it, like, I swear it was within the same month they released 10-star. And then it was like, no, like, I don't even have the fodder to make them all 10-star if I wanted to. And on top of that, there are better heroes outside of it. So, but it was the dream team.
I remember that. And then I remember when I was finally able to make like a much weaker version of it, and then I was like, okay, this team is not good. Murad, do we think Arwen will be better than Kurt? That is physically impossible. That is physically impossible.
Do we have any info on Arwen? I don't.
No, there's nothing new yet.
Okay, cool.
So we're still waiting to see what her skills were. I had thought they were going to come out this weekend, but they did not. So we have no idea, unfortunately. Can Vegdrasir counter Azathoth if he freezes him? I mean, yes, but Azathoth is faster than Veg, so
yeah.
It's too slow. Azathoth has already countered his skill. Plus he has a bubble, so he blocks the first freeze anyway.
Yep. I think Azathoth is really strong. And also I think that he like you said with the bubble, he already has that when the battle starts ability, so it's hard to counter him. He'll never be completely useless, right? Although, yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Did
What if
somebody...
they release an assassin that hits 6 people?
What?
I don't know if they'd ever do that.
First of all, that goes against how assassins work. However, because Detlef as a mage only hits 1, there could be more random things.
Oh.
Okay, so what happened to us when Skuld came? Oh, what did happen?
Oh, no, sorry. Poji asked, Mars 10-star was amazing, though, wouldn't that have been? That was my first, for sure. Mars was the first one because at 9-star, he was really underwhelming. 9-star Mars is not that great. Like, even look at peaks. Do you ever really pick Mars? Like,
Very
much
rarely.
better here. Yeah. So, it's like, yeah, he was not good at 9-star. I built him anyway, but then when 10-star came out, he was amazing. So, yeah.
And then you were the only one, I think, that made it
Yep.
to the meta team on GT1.
Yep. That was probably my strongest point because you got to remember at the beginning there was 2 people who were better than me for sure. Like there are others that may have been around the same level as me, but there are 2 people for sure better than me, and that was Arkin, who is always number 1, and Cam. Was his name Cam?
Which guy?
What was his name?
There was an Amusing and Alozukami.
Yep, those 2 were pretty close to me, but there was this one guy. He was high VIP, but he didn't play long.
Oh,
and I think
Entice.
No, oh yeah, Entice was ahead of me for a long time because he had double Phoenix first, I think. No, there's some earlier than that. You know him, Akari. I think he wasn't in our guild initially. He was in a different guild first, and he came back. Like way later, I heard he came back and he played on iOS instead, and he was a huge whale there. Dang, I think his name was Cam or something like that on Discord, but I don't know what his endgame name was.
I don't remember. I remember who you're talking about. Seulin? No, it wasn't Seulin.
It wasn't Chillin, no.
I think it was like he was in Atlantis and then he came over to Arson and then he left back to Atlantis.
I think you're right. Anyway, he had Nameless King before me, and that was a big deal back then. So Nameless King was really strong, guys. I like how saying Nameless King is strong is funny just because of how bad he is now.
There's people that are still trying to figure out how to make him work, but probably not going to happen so much now. Hey, Angel, what do I think about Yig T4? The thing about Yig is he's random. He can either make you or break you, and there is no in between. And so if you want to rely on him, just beware that you will lose. You're not going to win every time. Okay, let me see here.
Dang. Your chat has a lot of good questions, and just like pretty active, so it's cool.
So Nameless King is ripe for a rework. Pogi, I never put Mars away. I still have him. I still use him. I refuse to break him down. I will keep him for a long time until he truly gets obsoleted, which I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Arsha asked, what happened to us when Skuld was introduced?
Right. I did mention that. I think it got lost. I don't remember. I think we knew at the beginning she was going to become essential. I think we knew that from the very beginning.
I agree. Yeah. But you're probably thinking like, wow, like I freaked out when Skuld came out, but really, nothing will ever like really top. So far, nothing has topped my reaction as to when Phoenix came out. When Phoenix first released, I read her skills, and I'm just thinking to myself like, could they fit anything else into this text box? Like they already there's so much that she does that no one else can do, and on top of that, just like more and more and more effects. I'm just like, Skuld is amazing, but I had already gotten used to it, you know. Phoenix was crazy when it first released.
Was it Phoenix first? Yeah, Phoenix was first, huh? And then Skuld? God.
Oh yeah, by far, yeah.
I actually forgot that part.
Yeah, Phoenix and Valk dominated for a very long time.
Oh my god, Valkyrie! I could not get Valkyrie forever.
It felt bad.
I remember
converting for Valk is not good either.
Yeah, I remember having a 10-star team with a 9-star Valkyrie, which was still better than a 10-star Tesla. Tesla. God, is Tim Maya's team good? Oh man, I'm trying to do honor bets while we chat.
Oh yeah, no worries.
No, I don't know who's gonna win your bracket.
I haven't yet, but maybe I'll message you when I decide.
Okay. Half the time his mic does cut in and out a little bit. There's nothing, unfortunately, I can do about it. I think
Yeah.
it may be an internet thing. I don't know. Maybe we just have bad connection because he is entirely across the country. Meta history, Phoenix meta. Oh man, the Phoenix meta.
Holy shit.
Opinions on the Martin rework. Martin. So
Martin was a soccer player initially.
Martin initially was like Reaper. He got stronger when you died. He got stronger when they died. And then they finally realized that getting stronger when like your allies died wasn't a good, it didn't work for him. So they changed that. And then I think they changed him again.
Yep, you're right.
And he just never got good.
The thing with Martin is his numbers always looked really good because he just had high numbers on his ability.
No, Pogi. He had two buffs. I think he had like a crit rate buff when your allies died, and then he had a crit damage buff when the enemy died. He had two different buffs, and they got rid of one of them. He only has one left. Or actually, does he have any of them? Oh, he has the allies one. So he lost the one on enemies dying. But yeah, he used to have two. Okay. But I had a 9-star one early on because we thought he could be good, and then he turned out to just be terrible.
Yeah, I didn't even risk it with him. Like,
well, in the 9-star days, it wasn't a huge amount of risk, to be fair.
Well, in 9-star days, I actually thought Saw Machine was pretty strong.
I had a 9-star Saw Machine. I did too.
Yeah.
I foddered him when 10-star came out because of Ultima, but
Yeah.
I did. Okay, so when 10-star came out, was there a burst team? Okay, this is a whole story about what the burst team was at 10 stars. And it was one single team, which was 2 Phoenixes, 2 Mars, a Skuld, and a Valkyrie. And that was it. Nobody could beat that if they didn't have double Phoenix, double Mars. However, that team killed itself on offense. So whoever attacked won. Whoever defended lost. So it had a 100% win rate against itself. But it also had a 100% win rate against every other team in the game. So it's not so much that it was a burst team, but when you consider Mars's stun, oh my god. I hated that so much.
Mars was super good back then. And remember, energy artifacts were also a thing then? Like, that team really benefited from energy.
We didn't have star shards back then, did we?
No, we only had Tear of the Goddess. And this was really crazy, guys. It's really sad to some of the people who played back then because they released Tear of the Goddess as a pay-only option. Like, you had to pay to get it. There was no way to, like, free to play it out. So whoever got it and fought someone who didn't have it, it was an uphill battle for the person who didn't have Tear of the Goddess. There were a lot of great players who didn't spend on that event to get it and really regretted it later.
Man, and I missed the one free one because I didn't have enough keys.
You might have been one of the people I'm talking about. It's really unfortunate for people who didn't get that tier because it put them kind of far behind up until they released more.
That was me. That was definitely me. What should you convert? Convert for what? Will Monkey King ever find a place in the Wait, one sec. Before I get to that, Craft Kids, Orphe's not good. Orphe's trash. Will Monkey King...
Is that a troll?
I don't think so. I have a lot of...
Because Craft Kids asked, is Orphe good while I'm on the stream? which, by the way, I put out a video one time very early on, and I thought Orphe was good. Because when I first started playing, I fought a guy who had a higher leveled Orphe than me, and her ability was that when someone died or something on the enemy team, she healed. And for some reason, the healing was so big, I could never kill her. She would just keep healing after one of my guys would die.
I remember you pushing Orphe a lot early on.
That stupid thing. And there's only one guy on the server who had it, and it would bother me until I was able to 9-star stuff.
Okay, let's see. So will Monkey King ever come back into the meta? If they do something with his Petrify, maybe, but on his own, he doesn't offer anything to his team. Orphe is Centaur's daughter. Wait, what? Yes, bro. But yeah, so Monkey King, like that's his problem basically, is that he's a really good tank, but he just offers you no synergy. So to have synergy and enable other stronger heroes is just a better option.
Yeah. I like Monkey King.
Well,
I've still at 100%.
Wait, he doesn't anymore?
No, oh, well, when he first released, it was 100%. This was at 9-star, not 10-star and later. But then his nerf was nerfing it from 100 to 90%.
But
that was like his first nerf.
But he still heals at 100.
Yeah, but check 9-star.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if they switched it.
At 9-star, it's 93%.
There we go. Yeah, that was his first nerf. At 9-star, he used to go to 100, and they nerfed it.
Huh. That I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
I don't know why I remember these useless facts, by the way. It's just...
Well, I just didn't pay enough close attention to the game back then because I was like a casual, low-paying player that was just struggling. Murad, Wolf Rider, Pogi would be the one to answer that. But the main reason for Wolf Rider is because he has a passive where everybody does extra damage to stunned targets. So if you make a stun team, they will do way higher damage. That's pretty much it. Monkey King hit everyone? Then he's not a warrior anymore. That would make him too strong, I think. But even then, he is a bit slow. Convert 4-star Heaven and Hell? Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. All it takes is one player to get a lucky scold off of a Heaven's Judge, and the entire game is broken.
Oh, you're talking about converting Heaven and Hells?
Yeah. They'll never ever do that. Wolf Rider can raise damage to stun by 105%? How is that possible? How is that possible? Alright, hold on. I'm going to read this real quick. Oh, here we go. Oh, I see. I see. Wait, no. This only goes off once. How does... Okay. Pogi... Is it a T4 thing? Is it a better first T4 than Valk? Well, I don't have his Wolf Rider's T4 to look at. Valkyrie is actually not an amazing first T4 if you want to fight other people that have single T4s. She's good in terms of like holding her own in terms of longevity, but as a first fighting T4, she's actually not that strong. We're discovering much better options for people to make either Verthandi, Detlaf, Ripper, Reaper, any of those. They will all kill Valkyrie 1v1, sadly. Cash, there's 3 sisters, actually. There's also Erd. She hasn't shown up yet. Is Freya a solid first 10? Yes. Let me see. The Jesus Master asked, place bets on whether Saizo will ever be useful. Oh, that's a painful one. So, when he first came out, he was bugged. He stopped some revives, not all of them. Pogi, our favorite Pogi Jones, right up here, was trying to talk to the devs to say, hey, he's not stopping revives, can you fix it? So they're like, oh, okay, we'll fix it. And then they broke him worse. So, because of Mr. Pogi, Saizo went from potentially useful to absolutely not useful. Single-handedly, this one guy right here in the chat turned him into a trash hero. So everybody say thanks, Pogi.
Actually, Detlaf is useful and Void, right? So
he's the second or third best Void boss hero.
Yeah, so maybe Saizo can, if he ever gets fixed, can be similar to Detlef.
No, he is. It's been proven actually. Saizo's
Oh, okay.
damage out. Saizo's better on Void Boss than Detlef. And also, we're looking at potentially Zexanoth,
Yeah.
Werewolf, and I'm not sure who else. But Detlef's just easier to use everywhere else because Saizo is just bad outside of.
Void Cage, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
Verth also dies to Reaper. Okay. Well, Verthandi is just solid. She loses to the assassins 1v1. But I think she's a safer first T4 because then you can also run Expedition with her as well, and she'll do better in more modes. Werewolf has to be T4. Of course Werewolf has to be T4. You don't go into Void Boss and expect to be amazing without T4s. Okay, Pogi, so you want credit for suggest. Are you sure you get credit for that? Because Goof Fury was the guy that had the T4 Saizo. He was already trying to make him work. Are you going to take credit just for suggesting a team that made him do more damage? Huh. If Saizo gets fixed, won't he break the Void Boss? I say no because I think the Void Boss is immune to most of those kind of debuffs. I think. Or if not, they'll make him so. But considering that Azathoth doesn't stop his revive, I don't think it counts the same way. Vegasier and Ripper in a new account? Yes. Vegasier not as much. Ripper, yes. So Breeze, that's right. Now Saizo cancels no revives. Absolutely none. He used to cancel Monkey King, Mars, and Phoenix, and he did not cancel Themis and Skuld, and now he cancels none of them. Thanks, Pogi. Oh, did you spend a lot of time playing AFK Arena?
I did, yep.
Oh, huh. So Pogi asked, how did you like Void Cage compared to Labyrinth? Hey, Bulldog.
Question. I actually really enjoyed Labyrinth and AFK Arena. Ever
Well,
since
I did
that
until
one
I had to
came
do
out-
it every 2 days for.
Correct, yeah. But sometimes, even when I started to stop playing that, I would log in just to do the Labyrinth mode and not any of the other dailies. Just to, like, see if they'd added any more powers and things like that. And I don't know if I like that one more than Void Cage, but I will say because it was the first time I played it, it definitely I give it more respect than Void Cage because nowadays almost I don't know if you've played. I've been playing a bunch of different idle games, right? They all have this kind of mode now. Like they've all figured out that this is fun for people. They like the roguelike aspect, so they all have it. And some are done better than others. But AFK Arena was like the first I'd played, so I'm like, I really, really liked
I
it.
feel like their budget is big enough to give them that kind of freedom, and no other game really has the same type of budget as AFK.
It is popular. Oh, can you ask Moon if he played Idle Heroes? I did. I played on the private server though, not in the main one. So
And
yeah, season private.
Grandfather's Clock, the highest level in Planet Trial, is as of yet unknown. There's only like 5 people in the world that have beaten a 180, so we don't know what they've added because we can't see beyond like 185. So nobody knows. It could be 190, it could be 200. Like we actually do not have the answer to that. I think they messed up adding more Planet Trial when 180 was already impossible. Like I think this was a dumb move. Is Polar Bear good? Not a lot of freeze, normal damage. How do you use him? The thing that makes Vegasier so good is when he first of all when he freezes people, their defense goes down, and then when his skill crits, they get this crit damage resistance, meaning your crits do more. So he's only good if he's enabling stronger heroes. So by having him alongside Kurt, Themis, Bale,
Yeah.
those 3 get stronger. Veg on his
Yeah.
own is not that good.
Yeah, I really like the Vegvisir or Kurt combo. Just with the crit, it seems really strong.
Well, I was playing around with the Veg Olivia combo, and it works out really nicely, actually. But after seeing how badly it lost to Demon Hunter, I'm just kind of sad about that. Raid Shadow Legends. Oh yeah, that one there's a lot of big ads for that one too. I have no desire to come back to AFK Arena, even though they fixed the one thing that made me quit.
I almost went back when I heard they added Overlord to it or whatever.
This is Demon Hunter Pogi. For some reason, Olivia can't beat this team. I don't even know why I can't beat this team. It's a double Phoenix team. What was Ragnarok's old stats?
Wasn't it true damage?
I think it came with HP and it was like 20 defense break or something like that.
Oh, it was okay. I thought for sure it was true damage, but maybe you're right. Defense break.
I think yeah, true damage and def break. Oh, it had true damage too. I think it had HP also.
Oh, did someone know what it was?
Pogi said true damage def break.
I thought it was true damage.
Grandfather's Clock does double Phoenix buff stack. It does not. It actually very specifically says cannot be stacked. It very specifically says cannot be stacked. 12 true damage, 12 def break, and a bit of HP. Is that right?
The first merge. You're talking about
GT1 through GT4. Oh my god, people were railing the devs for months to undo it. Everybody on GT3 and 4 were just like, it's over. We are doomed.
Yeah. Yep. Entice was 2, right?
I think 2 or 3, and then he came over to us.
Entice was 2, and then Scon was on there too, right? Or no, that was later. No, there was someone
I remember
big on
Scon.
3. There was someone really strong on 3. It was what's his name? Brunt was on 3. This is not GT3. This was like server 3.
Wow.
But we've had like 2 merges, right? We're in the original server, like not GT1. We were on server 1, just T1, and then T1 got merged with all the way up to T8, and that became GT1, right?
Right. But we also, because of how GT1 worked, I don't think we were lumped with other servers for a long time. GT1 and 2. Yeah, I think they did GT1 first, and then they did GT2 later.
Yeah.
Okay, so why I quit AFK Arena was because they were releasing heroes too fast. And like especially the double dimensionals, and basically you had to buy one or else halt all progress in the game for 2 months at a time, and I thought that was dumb. And I knew that they were going to keep doing it, so I just said I quit. And now they came back and said they're not going to do it anymore. So yeah, theoretically I should come back and play, but it's too late. I made up my mind and I'm not going back on that. Oh no, my Bale got taunted. Rip. Yeah, Pogi, our cluster was just GT1 for team for a little while. Bold is the oldest super whale. That is true. Now, back at that time, we had a lot of spenders across the GT cluster, the GT1 cluster. Entice spent a lot. Colt NZ, he spent a lot. There was a few people that were pretty big spenders. Bold was actually not as strong as me. I was stronger than Bold. But then what happened is he kept spending and I didn't. And so, I just didn't keep up. Oh, I mean, also he had more money to spend on it than I did, but that aside.
Yeah, Bold has stayed so strong for so long because he spread out his spending over the whole time he's been playing, I feel like. Whereas at least for me specifically, I spent it all in one day essentially, and then maybe a little later. So like, I tell people this like, oh, like why aren't you as strong anymore? I'm like, well, for one, I spent a lot of money trying to get Nameless King, and look where Nameless King is now. Like, all that money is kind of wasted, you know? But not really, because it helped being finishing higher on events and things like that because I was strong at the beginning. So
And
it's a
the like
trade-off.
the VIP bonuses were big.
Yeah.
Like you have that for years over me.
Yeah. I hit when they first released the TOTG, I think, the first one. That's when I hit VIP 8, I think. And I've been at VIP 8 since.
Aves and Evas. No, I don't remember them, sadly. Okay, so Hobo, how did my veg freeze everyone? The thing about veg is you have to realize he needs high crit rate to freeze. When he has a 100% crit rate, he comes up to a 48% chance of freeze. And so his whole thing is you just want him to be tanking and getting hit, and every time he gets hit, his crit rate goes up and he ends up at 100 really high. So the more damage he takes, the more he freezes. Can you see Boomin's team? Boomin does not have an arena team set.
Yeah.
But it's basically my team, but without the Azathoth. I think he's just running this one. So Veg, Valk, Kurt, Skuld, Bale. I think that's what you were running.
That's right.
Is it worth it to
Double
spend
Skuld.
money on Taptap?
Skuld is too strong. Had to build another one. It hurt, but
Well, you say that, but I mean, you had a double Valk, you had double Freya, you
yeah,
had...
yeah. Well, I regret the double Freya, by the way, but the double Valk I don't. It was so strong. But yeah, my first one I think was double Phoenix. Obviously, when I first made my first duplicate, this was at 9-star, I think.
God, what did it take for me to make... I don't think I had any duplicates in the 10-star, 9-star days. I don't think I could afford it back then. Do you still have double Freya? No, you broke down the second one, right? No, wait, did you... You never even made the second one T4.
Oh, no, yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
Unfortunately. But no, it's gone now. I broke it down to make ball.
Ball.
Fail, whatever. But yeah.
Let me see. Pokedex, I did not start early today. I started regular time. So Marcos, it's worth it to spend as much on Taptap as you want to spend on Taptap. As long as you feel happy spending and don't come out of it going, oh, I wish I hadn't spent that. You know, do what you want. You're an adult, make your own decisions. I don't control your wallet.
Do you remember how long the gap between 10-star and T4 was, Akari? I feel like it was a very long time.
Okay, so T4 came out, I want to say, April last year. 10-star, I want to say, came out, oh god, within 6 months of the game starting? Maybe?
Was it?
Something
I don't know.
around that range. Around that range.
Very, very long.
So that would be like July or December, or no, let's say like September of 2017 up until February of 2020. So that's like 2 years, 2 years and 3 months. Murad, yes, your converted hero will keep level, rune, and gear, but it must be the same faction. Cash, how were resources back then? Wait, 2018? No, wait. Did the game come out in 2018?
I think it did.
Oh, yeah, it did. It did.
Although, we started really early.
We started like 2 months before the official release.
Yeah. I remember me, you, Arkin, and like Alo, like somehow we were all in the first server. I don't know how. I wasn't like I just randomly found the game, but I remember thinking like, no one's playing this game at all when we first started.
Oh, well, my brother worked on the dev team, so he asked me to try it out, and so that's how I started. So finding out that there were people like Arkin who were playing from effectively day one and
Yeah.
whaling and making strats and guides and stuff from the very beginning was like, oh wow, hey, that's kind of cool. That was my first experience seeing people do that. Murad, you need 5 Phoenix Stones to convert a T4, yes. Victor, spend Void Coins. This one is a tricky one because I would say the flags are the best, but because you can buy only this many flags and you get so many more Void Coins, I like to buy the chests to gamble, but none of the other stuff is worth it.
Yeah. There's two fun questions. What do I think about the idea of T5? I think that's what it says.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
Dr. Stanley says, tell Boomin I said hi.
hey Stanley, thanks for that. T5 is just it's more to do, you know. Like the game will never be over. Like it'll be a big upgrade.
That's, you know what? If the game lives long enough to come out with T5 and people don't like quit en masse, I'm not sure. I think it means they've done a good job. I think it means that they've upgraded in a way that people are still invested. So we will see. I don't see it coming soon, but
Oh, I agree. I think it'll be a while. I think right now their priority is heroes. Like they're really, I feel like they're pumping out heroes way faster than they used to.
that one's hard to say, actually. It's like 6 heroes a year or something like that. How many green equipment do I have? I have 1 set of green equipment. On AFK Arena came out, I want to say a year after Taptap. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Anonymous, all servers really end up dying. That's really what merging does. The problem is that you merge and then people quit and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And there is no answer to that. There is actually no answer. They can only keep merging. That's the only answer.
Yeah, people dislike merging because obviously you will drop down unless you're the #1 in all the merged servers, right? But what ends up happening is people quit just naturally the game. Like they don't like it after a couple months or a couple weeks, and then your server's small, and then you're like, dang, there's no one to fight. And then you merge, and they're like, wait, there's a bunch of people like I can't beat now. It's not fun anymore, and they quit. So it's like constantly killing the servers. But
The problem is by having a game that is so server based in competition, there's no answer. It can never be solved. So I played another game that was a match 3 competition game, Marvel Puzzle Quest, and that one didn't have servers. But what they did was they let you pick your competition by time zone. They had 5 different time zones of ending time, and you could choose to compete in different ones.
interesting.
And that I thought was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But
What about
uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on like is it the word free to play server? Basically no spending allowed, but obviously the rates would be different and things like that.
I think I would love that idea. Like if you could have that, it would be a server for fun because whales really kind of changed the entire game mechanic, like how you play your game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, people would get bored so much faster.
Agree. Yeah. People want to spend to go faster. So it would only really incentivize people who enjoy the game for what it is and not because they have to be #1. Like if you're trying to be super competitive, then a free to play server does not sound like a good time. You just have to go in there and maybe have fun playing with a group of friends, building different things and fighting each other and stuff. I could see that being fun.
So people are asking what you think about the new Guild Wars. Have you seen the update on that?
No, I have not. I'm really bad about keeping up with until it's in the game and when I'm playing it.
So Okay, so first of all, there was one of my streams where a guy came in and said he was a Taptap dev, and he said come up with ideas. But he also said that what they were doing was working on a cross-server guild, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, they teased something on Facebook about this. So it says, we're working on a new guild war on the basis of the present guild. Actually, one sec. Let me put it on the screen for everyone else to see first before I read it to you. Here is that on the guilds at the top of the rank get a new gameplay, and in the new guild war, each guild gets divided into 4 camps according to certain rules, and the guilds in the same camp need to cooperate to win at the end. What it feels like is like a finals kind of.
Yeah. It's like they're just expanding on the Guild Wars similar to how they did with Arena, right?
But it feels like this gives them the choice to make it more cross cluster. Like
Yeah.
they could make this our guild thing as GT 1 to 8, but then they lump ours and then we go against like GT up to 64. So we have no idea, but this is their idea.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun, but it's like,
Hi, hey Giggy Gigs. Okay, how many people are active in our cluster? Probably around less than 100 at this point. In the entire GT1. Actually, that's not true. It's active at the low level, but it's not. It's
on
hard to
GT1?
tell. Yeah, the
If you look
actively.
at some of the arena teams, like because I'm at like the bottom of the arena because I didn't set a team, I see a lot of those teams that I don't. They're just like auto-generated. I feel like they're not real players, or if they were, they're from a long time ago, and they're just using the teams as like placement, right?
But in
So
arena, if you haven't fought a battle, you're not ranked. So they have to be active to at least
I get
attack.
that, but really low ranked. Like I'm talking like number 250 or something, which you can't see. But
Hmm.
I mean, look at that. For example, if you are active and not doing what I'm doing, Elder Max is 282,000 power, right? Like, it's, he has to beat somebody that's, like you said, active. But I don't think he could. You see my point? Like, if he wants to
Um.
push.
Okay, so my theory is gonna be. Oh wait, when I click on him and his power is 420,000. That's odd. Um, I think when you start, you're there with 1,000 points, and
Yeah,
then people hit you, and then that can raise your points on defense. Although I
I
don't think that's
see.
happening so much on our cluster because I think it's pretty dead. But
Yeah,
but
exactly.
there is definitely still like 100 people in even just our arena that actively play, because if nothing else, when the server first start or when arena first resets, there's a lot of people that are actively pushing to the top at the very beginning. They all fall
Like,
down, but
look at what NDG says. Like, I've noticed that as well, right?
really, okay, that I did not see.
I feel like they have not auto-generate, but they're using teams. But I don't know. I could be wrong. And it doesn't. It's going to be impossible for us to know who's active or not, right? But maybe that's a good question for the devs. Speaking of the devs and the whole Guild War thing you're talking about, when
Uh-huh.
they first released T10, so from 9 to 10, or not T10, 10 star, from 9 to 10, they messaged me and Arkin on the Discord.
Uh-huh.
This is like may have been Freya. I don't remember exactly which dev it was. They've changed over time. And they asked what we wanted for like the system. And we gave them like 2 or 3 ideas on how we thought like upgrading from 9 to 10 should be. Um, and well, that's the story. It did not turn out like that at all. So
Huh.
yeah, they didn't go with any of our ideas. They had to. I think what they were what they essentially did was told us what they were. This is like, hey, here's what we might do. What do you guys think? And we said, oh, we don't like that. And then they were like, I think it was too late. They already started doing that. So not too useful, but
Weird. All right. Do we think there'll be a Tap Tap 2? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anytime soon. Okay, Freya 6 animation versus Freya 10 animation. What? Is there a difference? Dang it. Dang it. I keep messing up my macro. Okay. Freya 6 animation versus 10. Let's take a look. I don't see a difference. I actually... Oh, wait. Wait, did her head move like that before? No? It looks the same to me. I really can't tell. Oh, I see. The wings move less. Okay, so do you think they lost staff? I think they've gone through a lot of staff changes. So the thing about Taptap, though, is so when my brother was working there, what he basically told me was they said they were making enough money that they didn't need to worry about outsourcing to like content creators or to anything else, and they figured they were just doing fine with what they were doing, which is probably why you don't see them trying to innovate too much more anymore.
Yeah. I don't have any insight on that, but based on as long as I've been playing the game and the decisions I've seen them make, I think they are completely happy with how the game is like been. They've made a lot of money off of it, and they're going to continue to the way it is. I don't see them changing because there's no need for them. They're doing fine, you know. Keep pumping out new servers, keep getting new whales.
Yeah, I think that as long as the game can survive in its current state, I think they're gonna keep it like this. Oh man, my planet trial macro is not working at all.
What buff would I give Lexar? I would make Lexar like a suicide bomber, I guess. Just like when he drops to a certain percentage or when he hits his skill. If he's like a bloodthirsty looking warrior. I kind of want him to like, if he's gonna die, he's gonna take someone with him. That's thematically how I would want him to be.
I would give him a crowd control clear at 50%. That's it.
Or, for everyone or just for himself?
Just for himself.
Dang, I'd want it for everyone.
That, oh my god, you want him to be broken like Phoenix was.
I want, when below 50, or when he hits 50%, I want him to remove CC on everyone on his team and himself.
That is not how warriors even work thematically.
It's a battle shout. He's he's like he's invigorating his allies, like breaking them out of a daze, like keep fighting. I can make it work.
When he dies, deal 300 damage. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that too. Okay, let's see here.
You know, he sacrifices his HP, which is like, yikes. Like, his ability better be so strong if he's gonna kill himself to use it, right? And I just don't think it's strong enough.
The game is slowly getting updates. They're doing a pretty good job with updates, I gotta say. Like, everybody always complains we want more content, and I think they're doing a good job with more content. But the problem is with an idle game, the grind is real. And that's never going away. These games are designed to keep you doing the same thing every single day. Just, that's how they work. And so, unfortunately, there's very little you can do about that. So people, they take the new content and then they get bored of it and they're like, we want more. And it's just not that easy.
Yeah, they put in a lot of work on their art, right? I think there's a lot of games just like Taptap out there. In fact, Idle Heroes was essentially, or Taptap was essentially Idle Heroes, right? But people really like the UI and the art, and I don't blame them. I think they look pretty cool, so they'll always do well. It's got like a really good art style, really captivates you when you look at it. Like, you first take a look at all the art styles of all these like idle games out there, and Taptap just stands out to me as being cool looking.
The thing that makes me so sad is that the community is not big enough for them to have fan art, and that I feel like that's such a disappointment. Because you look at what AFK Arena does, the number of people drawing the characters, like for them to highlight it, for them to have like cosplay contests, art contests, everything. And I feel like Taptap's characters really lend themselves to that. Like, I love the art in the game, but I would love to see people's takes on it. And sadly, the community is just not big enough for that.
Yeah. You know, initially when the game first came out, like you probably remember this, Akari, but on the Discord I had two things. I tried to get the community involvement because realistically when I played Idle here or Tap Heroes, the game got stale after like you do your dailies and you fight people and like there's stuff you can do to like keep going, but after about an hour of playing, I found myself like, dang, I wish there was more I could do. So what I thought about was, hey, what if the best part about the game is obviously the community. Like everyone in the community is like really into the game and really good at communicating with each other and talking about it. It's fun, right?
Right.
You obviously know, you stream. So I was like, hey, let's do like events for the community. And I messaged the devs and I said, hey, I want to do like a 1-star hero tournament. This is all I could think of as like something that would be fun. And so I said, I got me and this guy who was playing at the time, Frank. I was like, hey, let's make brand new accounts on like T3 or T4. I don't remember what the server was, but we'll make brand new accounts and we won't buy any guild tech and we'll just like log in every day and all we'll do is open common keys and we'll get 6 copies of every 1-star hero in our bags. And that's it. Just 6 copies of every hero. We won't equip any equipment. We won't put any artifacts, none of that stuff. Just 6 max leveled, like at the time I think it was like level 50, like I don't know, they don't get very high, right?
40,
like
I think.
40, okay. And then we'll max out all of them. And so it took us like, I don't know, a couple of weeks actually to get all the copies of 6 copies of every 1-star, and also to level them you need the stuff, right? And then one day we like put a bracket of like, or we put a Google form out. It said, I want everyone in the community, which was not that many people at the time, to pick a team of like whatever you think the strongest 6 heroes together. And you were allowed to use duplicates at the time because we had 6 copies just in case people wanted to, right?
I joined
And
that
then,
tournament, but
oh yeah,
I didn't know anything about the game, so I picked heroes that looked nice, and I lost
yeah.
on turn 1. I lost round 1.
And then we told the devs we were doing this, and unfortunately they didn't. I mean, I said, hey, can you just give us the heroes so that we can do it? And they didn't do that, but they did say,
Hey,
hey,
Nick.
you tell me who the winner is, and we'll give them a free month, like a free month of the packet or
Yeah, the monthly card.
Yeah, the card. And so they did, and Parable ended up winning, which is funny because he was free to play. Just like it's cool how he won the 1-star, and I don't remember what his team was, so I'm not gonna give it away.
I
I mean, you can
believe
obviously
he
go look
was
it
one
up.
of the few ones that had an aura. Like
Oh.
most people did not even think about an aura at that time. It was too early, and we were just still trying to figure out heroes, and I think he was one of the few ones that had it.
Yeah, and 1-stars, no one really even knows what the 1-stars did back then. Like, who cared? We always just foddered them or like deleted them.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
he won.
Pokedex, you're allowed to host art. Yeah, totally. The devs love the art. There's just not enough of it for them to even really like address it. So, I mean, if their Facebook got a whole bunch of fan art, I assure you the devs would like look at it and, say, "Hey, look what these guys drew." I mean, I don't think they'll give you anything because the community for art is so small, but that I would really love. I really would love to see people's takes on these heroes, see them in different situations, but that was so sad.
Yeah.
Peaks was inspired from your tourney. Peaks is a mode
I
that's
don't.
like common.
Yeah,
That's a thing
it's
that's
in other
in
games as
all of those.
well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the 1-star hero tournament is similar to Peaks in only that they give you only 5-star heroes. Like that's like the only thing, right? But the
Well,
1-star hero tournament.
yes and no because they still give you 1 star scaled up to the 5-star level.
Yeah, I mean, like they just give you like low-level versions of those heroes.
Stanley, it's the best idle game. I think it's one of the
Yeah,
most appealing to me.
do not.
I did really like AFK Arena, but I always felt that it lacked the draw for me.
Don't
All
blame me
right.
for Peaks, please. I don't want to bring that on this world.
Oh god. I remember loving Peaks when it first came out, and then I'm like, "Oh shoot, I got to play this every week?"
so long. It takes so long to do peaks for me.
If
Ah,
you actually put thought into it, then yes. But
yeah.
generally, you can run it through it in like 20, 30 minutes and get a
Yeah, if you're just
really
yeah.
crappy score. But that's what I'm used to.
Um, the other thing I did twice, which I, it takes a lot of work to do it, and it's a big reason why I don't do it anymore is just because, I mean, I need a lot of free time, but I signed people up on this like Excel sheet. I got like, I think a lot, it was like 50 people who all decided on one day we were going to start on a new server and we would play for exactly 1 month. And then I kept track of everyone's power levels and things like that and what heroes they had. And then at the end of the month, everyone had to be free to play, by the way. And you had to give me proof that you'd never spent in anything. But I awarded people like best planet trial, like
I remember that. I remember
whatever.
that. I didn't join it because I already had an alt at the time, and I'm like,
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
even have time for two accounts. I ain't playing
It's a lot
three.
of work. Yeah, and then like I gave someone an award for like most power, like generally we decided was the strongest, or and we gave someone like best at this planet trial, best at Den of Secrets, best at this, and everyone got like a little art. We had like someone who could help me with art. They got a little title and all this stuff, and then the number one guy gave a gift card. So like a really small one, and but it was just cool because everyone was like really active because you were finally on a level playing ground. And when one person in that 50 ended up pulling like a Phoenix or something, it was like, dang, like they're suddenly so far ahead out of nowhere. But we saw way more teams. Like because people knew they were only playing for 1 month, everyone was willing just to make, hey, I'll try out Tesla because I don't know what he does, but I think it could be cool in this. So you had people trying out new teams, and I would stream it, right, and I would call out like, oh wow, this is really interesting. Why'd this guy build Orphe in this team and things like that? And it was kind of fun. But oh yeah, the TT was in everyone's name, so everyone on that server would like kind of get swarmed by all these like TT players.
So chat questions. Arsha, can
Oh
you
yeah.
undo T1 to 10 stars? You cannot. The only thing you can do is break them down completely, which is like all the way. You cannot undo one level of update. Aura after peaks became more random after the Aura update. Yes and no, because people were no longer forced into making auras, but at the same time, it was so hard to make auras, for me at least, that I don't think it changed too much. Because I ended up failing to make an aura most of the time anyway, and so I don't think that changed a lot. Is Lindbergh worth building? I'm going to say that unless you know what you want to do with Lindbergh, you shouldn't build him. Pogi can do it because he knows exactly how to use Lindbergh, and I'm going to say that most people don't. Um, Unlike Idle Heroes, Taptap has more crowd control. Having not played Idle Heroes, I don't know about that one. And I think Zex is used more in a non-assassin team. Well, that's just because he got buffed. They changed him and he got better. That's all. Pogi defended peaks for a month. Oh man. Oh man. That'll go down under one of your worst decisions.
I don't know. Forever Infamous Last Peaks feels a lot more RNG heavy than it used to be. Uh, I'm not sure if it's because it's been out for so long that the general teams have gotten stronger, just because there's more options. But yeah, it feels so RNG. Like I don't like it.
User interface in TapTap is better than in AFK and Idle. Well, I don't know. I guess. Just remember, this is not what the game used to look like. Like, we have this new menu item here where your events and stuff are here. We didn't have this before. We had to actually go into, like, menu and pull it out from somewhere in the menu. So they've changed a lot of the GUI to be friendly. Like,
Uh,
this whole thing wasn't here before.
yep, yep. I'm surprised you remember that, Akari. I'm so used to the current UI, I almost forgot all the old stuff.
I just remember it being very unfriendly before, but I got so used to it that when they added this thing right here, I was like, oh, that's so weird. I don't like that. And now yeah, it's great. Oh, do you still play Ulala? Someone asked.
I do not. I got really into it for a while. And people, okay, so I quit, but um, I thought it was a pretty fun game. Like I think a lot of people give it too much hate because it's so tiring playing it. But if you really go at it more casually, you can have a lot of fun. Like being a whale and being like competitive in that game will drain you. Like it just requires so much micromanagement. But if you go at it like super casual with a group of 3 other friends and just like, hey, like let's just play once a like, 30 minutes a day or something casually, I think it's a really fun game. But yeah, I do
BRK
not play.
asks when you are uploading new video of Deep Hero analyses. Actually,
So
Marquito's been doing that now.
yeah, I had 2 videos where I uploaded for Valk, I think was my first one, and I didn't like get a lot. I mean, I definitely had some people who came back and watched them. I think I did Valk and Lorelei, right? And they give great feedback, and I really wanted to keep going with them. But realistically, I don't know if that's the content people want to see as much. I think there's like a small niche of players who thought it was useful, but outside of that, most people are probably more interested in like, I don't know, pulling a bunch of stuff or doing battles and stuff like that. But I do have a script already lined up for Kurt, and I might release the Kurt video, but I'm not sure yet.
All right, yeah. I mean, I look at stuff like that, and I would like to do that kind of stuff too. But I feel like my in-depth knowledge, I don't know. Part of it is I just don't have time. But
That's the biggest thing, right? Like you could definitely do it, but you also stream. Like if I had to stream and make videos, I don't know if who has that time, you know?
I definitely don't. That's
Yeah.
why my like actual video content is not as common because it's all me. I'm doing all my own editing, my own graphics, my own whatever, and I just don't have time for it anymore. Um so Caleb, how to use Ultima? The thing about Ultima is the main thing about Ultima is getting the speed on the back line. If you don't have a very specific purpose for that, then you're better off not doing it. Because if you have to ask someone what Ultima brings to your team, unfortunately, it means that you won't be able to make changes to it when it doesn't work anymore. And so that becomes. I mean, I hate to say it, but Ultima is like a really in depth character to use. I don't want to say high intelligence character, but it kind of is. So if you're not min-maxing, oh my god, look at this damage. Look at this. This is why you don't get rid of Mars. Look at this damage. Um, did I see Breeze's trailer? I skimmed it, and it's very harsh. It's very mean. But, he has my blessing. He asked me if he could upload it using my footage, and I'm like, okay, go for it. But, let me see. So yeah, Ultima is like you have to know exactly who is getting that 50 speed and how it matters. So like if you look at Lorelei, the thing that made Lorelei so major was getting her to be faster than Freya, de-speeding their Freya, and ensuring that your team got to fire before their Freya disabled your team. Ultima is going to be something similar, which is you have to know exactly what hero you're targeting and how you want to fight them. And so if you don't know exactly what your opponent's using, how to fight it, and how to use Ultima to fight it, Ultima is not going to help you. Like, if we look at Pogi's team, and his team is as finely tuned as it gets, if his opponent changes one hero, one artifact, Pogi goes from 100% win rate to like 20. So it's as simple as that. If you don't know how to tune Ultima to change via opponents, and you have to ask someone for help every single time someone is beating you, you probably shouldn't be using Ultima. So I guess that's the strongest way I can put that. And so the reason that this worked back when we first started playing was that everybody had the same heroes. We all had exactly the same team. We were all using Centaur, Scarlet, I guess Verthandi, Freya, and Reaper. We all had the same teams, and therefore Ultima makes it so that you can win on defense as well as offense. But now that everybody has such different teams, Ultima isn't an end-all be-all solution to countering people anymore. Pogi, that is true. However, when 10 stars came out, Ultima actually became a very good tank. At 9 stars, she died like that. Okay, damage buff. But at 10 stars, it was her speed. Or her survival. It really came in. How to use Lindbergh? I don't even know the answer to that. Ask Pogi.
Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the Khalil Reaper thing that people were doing right when 10 star came out?
Oh my god, it was so frustrating.
Yeah, you would have these random in honor, right? You would have these random, like, hidden teams that you're like, all right, there's no way there's anything good on this team, so I can just send in, like, maybe 2 10 stars, 3 if I'm, like, doing, like, I'm confident I can win the other one. And then hidden on that team would be, like, a Khalil, an Ultima, like, low-leveled, but still high enough to have their skills. And then 1 Reaper just sitting in the back, waiting for that, like, death damage bonus. And he would just destroy your entire team in 1 skill cast. I was like, oh wow.
People are still kind of doing that, leaving a Verthandi or a single Monkey King or a Reaper. It still works, but not as good, I guess.
Yeah, it was only really good back then because of the far difference, Like, now it's not so great.
Yeah.
In new servers, yeah. I can see that.
So, right, Caleb. Ultima is a very min-max heavy hero. So you'll have to fine-tune her speed, her artifact, her positioning, who's in the back, who's not in the back. All of that has to change specifically for every opponent you face. And so if you're not willing to put into that time, or you don't know how to put in that time, which is fair, most people don't, it's better not to use Ultima. Zero comes to mind. Oh god, it was Zero. It was Zero. Mm-hmm. I would be sitting here with a full 10-star team, and he would have half my power, and that stupid Reaper would kill me like 40-50% of the time. Oh, I hated that time. Breeze's trailer. So I did community pulls for Miracle Eyes, and Breeze came on, made a T4 Olivia in front of my face, and then converted her to Valkyrie in front of my face. Like, he said he planned that for months just to do it on stream, and oh, that is some betrayal. That is some betrayal right there. Now that I have a T4 Olivia, I assure you she's not leaving my bag.
Yeah, Birdie's like, he had the Ultima Scarlet Reaper team. That was really good. It was just like, I don't know if it's meta. I think it was meta. It was really strong back then. Just so much damage, and Ultima really helped those 2 heroes.
Phoenix, Treant, 3 Reapers, and an Aegina. Why do you need to put anything in there? You tank with somebody and you kill people with Reapers. I don't think there's any thoughts to that. You can tank with Phoenix or you can tank with Treant. Actually, does Treant work? Honestly, I would just tank with Treant and let Treant die and then Reapers kill people. Scarlet with Reaper. Scarlet with Reaper was that she would die and everybody would get poisoned, and that poison was so hard to stop back then. Her poison was so good back then.
Yeah, I think right now people don't really use Scarlet as much, but there was a time when I considered XDeath Scarlet like poison. Like I have them die and then put like just a super strong tank in the back line. Just like have everyone die, have a tank and Reaper, and then just like let them burn to death or like melt.
BIOS, Skuld doesn't clean poison. So that team would still work now. It's just that we're moving into where single target damage, like one turn damage, is so much higher than 5 turns of poison.
Exactly. Ekbeth, I think, is one of the only characters that had the 15 round thing. But
That
he never had a 10-star.
that it lasted until they die. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. T4 Detlaf versus Verthandi. Honestly, I think Detlaf wins that. Like almost 100%. If Detlaf fires his skill and it crits, he wins every time. Is there a hero that you love but is terrible? Well, it's Boomin. We have Scarlet and Orphe on that list.
Orphe. Actually, my favorite hero in the game, and I used to have him as my profile picture for a long time on the game, but it's Khalil. I think he's just so funny looking, and his glasses, when you upgrade him to big star or whatever, he gets the money glasses. It just, I wish he was strong. And actually, when I first played the game, I was like, this guy has potential, and I was so wrong. He has an ability where I thought when I read it, I thought his attack would just keep scaling and he would get this massive attack bonus by the end of the fight. But no.
You recently used X-Death and Honor to get your 9-star Phoenix buff going since Phoenix was too slow to use energy on. That is a interesting strategy. That is actually very interesting. I don't think I would have thought of that, actually. But then, I'm bad at thinking outside the box. That really is not my area. And I mean, Murad, in my case, it's very clear who the hero I like that is bad is. So I don't think it needs to be said. Lindbergh versus Detlaf. Oh, God. I'm actually not sure about that. I feel like Lindbergh is faster and therefore should lock down Detlaf and win that, but I actually don't know the answer. Jesus. Okay, what is this team? Oh, God, this is ridiculous. How do I fight this team? Wait, is Lindbergh's immune to silence? No, he's immune to stun. Crud. Okay, well, this is gonna be rip. I'm gonna be here for a while. I just made it to Gale 179, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna be stuck on this one for a while. Detlaf clears crowd control when he's lower than 50. Right. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure. Centaur, Scarlet, Ultima. Yes, God, Centaur was so good back then. And so the thing is, Centaur recently got buffed. And I feel like he could be a PvE hero again. Like right now at T4. But I don't think anybody with a decent team has him.
Yeah, I considered it when the Scarlet rework happened. I was like, I'll build a team based on Scarlet, and for that I was thinking maybe taking Centaur just for even the stun, because Scarlet's gonna apply the poison, he just needs the stun, right?
What is his stun rate though? Isn't it like 30-40% on poisoned heroes or something like that?
They have to be poisoned, I believe, and something else too.
Maybe he has to crit.
It reduces their speed, right?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pull his T4
Maybe it's
up.
not a stun. Let me see. I thought it was a stun.
I am gonna pull up his T4 right now. Let's see here. What? Where is it? No, where's... Oh, here it is. Alright, Centaur...
Yeah, when attacking poisons targets, he has a 45% chance to stun for 2 rounds. Yep.
Oh no, the doc file that I have actually doesn't have his buff. Huh, it has his old T4. That's sad. Who updates this? but because of Lorelei, everyone has 45% poison resistance. Yeah, but Lorelei is actually being phased out a little bit.
Yep. That's what I was just about to say. I think Lorelei is slowly moving out. She's good though. I made a video on her and I thought, while I was making the video, I thought, dang, this hero is really good, but
She is really a super jack of all trades because she can be built to do so much damage as well. And
yeah.
classics, don't you lie to me. Bone Grip doesn't exist. Bone Grip is not in this game. Aiden is good. No, Aiden is unfortunately quite bad. God, when Aiden first came out, I think it was Scon who built him, and he did pretty good with him, actually, early on. Like, there was a lot of debate between Reaper and Aiden back then. But then that was short-lived because Shude came out and just completely obsoleted them all.
Yeah, I made a video of like top 5 undead, and it was so useless because at the end of the video I was like, well, Shudmel's the best. Like, there's no competition here.
I remember that. You were like, who is third best undead or something like that. And you're like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. They all are.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not first or last, then Taptap. Because you can make dupes, you might as well just make a bunch of copies of the best hero.
You can't believe Phoenix is out of meta. I think Phoenix was always designed for shorter battles. I think that's the way Bold put it. Pogi, I think my reasoning for, I mean, I could be wrong, but my theory on Lore going away is because she really was used as a Freya counter. And once Freya is gone, you might as well just replace Lorelei with a stronger damage or support hero, which is Skuld or another Kurt or something like that. And so I feel like Lorelei's support is not as important against a high-end burst team. God, should I use Azathoth on this fight? I don't even know. Phoenix and F-Death would be a comp? I mean, yes, but remember X-Death doesn't go to 10 stars.
Yeah. Can't be used.
I cannot see Aegina coming back into the meta. Unless you see something I don't see. Well, unless Dinker proves it. But I feel like Aegina is not coming back. It's Viv is making anybody come back. Like, because of Vivienne, a lot of heroes just become viable. And that doesn't mean that they are good because they're still better. And even Dinker has said he does better with Lore Themis than Chessia Aegina. So they're viable, but it's not going to make them a top tier option.
Aegina is really confusing to me because I really thought that Taptap was getting away from damage over time abilities as being like the main source of winning battles.
Uh-huh.
I really thought that they were just burst was everything. Like, it was all about burst damage, and the little like extra damage over time was just an added bonus. Like, who really cares? He just gets healed up anyway, especially when Shudmel was meta. Like, her heals just negated that, right? But then now there's just so much like Aegina came out and there's like, oh my gosh, she applies all these dots, and to me it still feels like burst, but I guess they're already realizing, wait, damage over time abilities are really good in Taptap, so we have to have all these resistances now. So many heroes are going to be resistant or be able to cleanse damage over time. It's hard to build like a dot-based team, which is sad.
What was I gonna say? And like Pogi actually said himself, Aegina doesn't compete with Vivienne's healing. So, like, if Aegina comes back, then that just means Vivienne will come back and Aegina will go away again. But Lore won't be able to come back if Vivienne comes in. So
you gotta remember, like, there's effective damage. Like, a lot of Aegina's damage is like almost it's inflated, like on the damage charts, right? Because if you're gonna kill a hero anyway, the damage that was like dealt to them just by dotting them down doesn't really matter as much. So that's why I really like the idea of burst team, or why I really think burst teams are just so much better. Because if you kill the hero, like the dot that was applied, as long as it was used to like get them within killing range, then it was good. But anything after that is useless.
And then if you look at what Vivienne's healing does, then it really just didn't help.
Yeah,
If Aegina didn't
exactly.
have bubble, she would be trash. If she was a little bit faster, I feel like it would save her a lot. I really feel like that alone would change her a lot. But then we get back into like cleric speed and all that stuff. Oh, good old Aegina. I loved Aegina. When she first came out, I pushed so hard to get her. And she was big at the time. Like, she was so much better than Shude Mel. And, yeah, now she's not so great. Then we found out about Detlaf, and it's like, okay, well, Detlaf is just has so many more uses. The likes on their the likes on their Facebook are going down. I actually don't look at their Facebook. I feel like if I post there, my real name's gonna get released, and I don't want to do that. Just for that reason. Also because I'm too lazy to make like my own Facebook for my YouTube. See, Pogi, but at 10 stars, Bale was way worse than, or not, Bale didn't do that great against Monkey King. It was, you got lucky on Bale. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say you got lucky on the Bale upgrade. Because you were pushing Bale so hard in the 10-star days. And actually, so was Degnant, I think. And then T4 came out and he just got saved. Ripper can compete on meta teams. I don't think that that's Ripper doing the competing so much as he is occupying a spot and not being completely useless. Because I can put Olivia on a meta team and it'll do great. Does it mean that Olivia fits on that team? No, it does not. Like, I can use my Olivia on my team and beat meta teams. That has very little to do with how good Olivia is, but it has more to do with how strong the other 5 heroes.
Yeah.
Nick, the reason that I leave Planet Trial is so that if I... Actually, I don't know. I do it because if I beat a stage, it puts the thing back in the same place.
I used to tell people used to tell me like so and so this hero is really good, like oh I don't know, take someone kind of off meta like old Centaur is really good, and then I would say like okay well what team are you using with them, and they'd be like oh double Phoenix and Valk and Centaur and you know like two really good like heaven like Monkey Kings. I'm like wait a second, oh all right. Try that again, but this time don't surround the Centaur with literally the best heroes in the game. So it's like, is that yeah? I don't like to hate on people that say this hero is so good, but they really have to consider like if you paired back then, if you paired anything with Phoenix, it looked good, right? So
Back then is when we were saying 8-star Phoenix beats out a 10-star Medusa. Like,
yeah.
that's how good Phoenix was back then. Alright, so here, Stanley, look at this. This is, well, okay, can I get a better meta team? I guess we can use Gigi. Oh, no, I don't have him on my friends list. I will show you Olivia beating a meta team, and now I'll use that as your own argument of, oh, Olivia's meta now. And that's just not how it works. Look at this. This is a meta team. And I'll use Olivia. And you'll see that Olivia won't do a whole lot of damage, but I'll win. Does it mean Olivia is amazing? That is not the right interpretation. Oh, she froze this Skuld right here. Oh, here, she froze Kurt and Phoenix. Yay, Olivia. Oh, wait, she died. I mean, does this battle mean that Olivia is amazing? No, that's not how it works.
Nicole, I pressed Alt F and nothing happened, and then I pressed F4 after and nothing happened. So I don't know.
Oh, Boomin, have you looked into the new artifacts?
Not really. I've seen Oracle, which I think is going to be pretty strong, but I don't like
I
to look at them because I don't know how I'm going to get them.
Well, we have a chance to get Grail next week,
Yeah.
but I don't honestly, I don't see I just don't see a use for either of them. I think Oracle is going to be so niche compared to just having energy.
Control resistance getting more and more valuable, I feel like, with all the more heroes coming. Like, I'm thinking future, right? Because I may not get one in a while. I'm thinking more and more heroes are coming out with CC, and it's going to be a lot of CC.
Or yeah, that's what I'm saying. Grail on Vivienne and Oracle on Yig, and that's it. I can think of no other heroes that benefit from either of those artifacts. Like, I can think of no other heroes.
They said Grail on Yig.
No, Grail on Vivienne and Oracle on Yig.
Oracle on Yig, yeah, because he can't get CC'd.
So, which is funny because Oracle on Yig doesn't even matter because as Pogi worked out, Yig is so fast that it's really hard to stop him anyway. Like, it's almost impossible to stop him before he fires the first time. And so having this is like minimal. He's already gonna fire. Grail on Valk. I don't think Grail works on Valk because if you're gonna use her as a support, you would rather have energy on her to get the 20% attack reduction off as soon as possible. I think that would matter so much more than this. If games get lengthened to more and more rounds, I think Yig is going to go away. I think Yig is going to be even more like annoying to fight against because every turn that you extend your fight against him is a chance that you also could die.
So you're saying Yig gets better the longer the fight goes, or worse?
I think worse.
I really think that if these artifacts do extend the time, like how long fights go. Alright, so this could be totally wrong. When I used to stream, I used to say stuff like this that was way off, but I just like to throw it out there. Maybe someone has a better idea, but it's like, say a fight takes a long time. You've got Vivian's on teams now. You got Vivian Skulls on teams with this artifact that's just stealing an insane amount. Let's assume they don't have an Azazoth to like counter it or anything. Then single target burst damage can get better because killing it's not possible to burst one shot an entire team. So now heroes like Deadlaugh and Saizo, if he ever gets fixed and all that, if they're able to actually kill a unit or a hero and take it from a 6v6 15 rounds to a 5v6 like in the second turn, now that's a big advantage. Currently, if someone dies, it's not that big of an advantage. You know, you have Valk, she like gets stronger the more people are dead, things like that, right? You can always turn the game around in one turn. Like one turn and everyone can die. If games are actually going 15, then single target burst can be much stronger because a 5v6 is now a huge disadvantage. But like I said, I can be totally wrong. And
I mean, Kurt already can do it though. Kurt already can do enough damage to one-shot heroes. All he needs is a lucky crit.
But Vivian would need to somehow counter. You would need more damage reduction. Kurt, like I said, I thought Kurt was so strong. I really think that double Kurt is like potentially meta. So I don't know. Kurt is so strong.
Yeah, Pogi was in that mindset too. When Kurt first came out, he was like, "Call it now. Kurt is gonna be meta and like too broken strong," and he was right.
I think he's a Horde hero too.
God, Horde got so strong with that. God, look at... Oh my god! Look at this damage! Look at this freak... Who sees a Freya doing 14 million damage? My goodness. My goodness. I'm gonna save this just for posterity. But now I obviously can't beat this team. So I will never beat this team, obviously. Did I see your Lindbergh damage? Yeah, I saw it. And also, I don't think Muse has you blocked anymore, Pogi. So I think he will see it if you leave it there. Hi V17. Kurt is strong but ugly. Well, we all thought he was ugly, and then he turned out to be so good that that didn't matter anymore. There was a time when Freya did 22 million. Yeah, I've seen that. Kurt, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm probably gonna get off for the night, but
All right.
I really appreciate you inviting me to your stream.
No
It's been
problem.
so long since I've talked Taptap with anyone on stream or on video at all. So
Well,
it's been really interesting.
well, maybe we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I'll message you and maybe we can. If people enjoyed some of the conversations we had, then I'd like to join again. But if you guys are, maybe next time we can have like a topic or something. Like if there's anything you want us to talk about, definitely let Akari know, and then you can pass it on to me. Maybe I'll do some thought into, I don't know, some question people have. But it looks like from what I know, you already have like most everything that people have questions about. You have great answers for. So I don't know what that would be, but I really appreciate you inviting me though. It's cool. I've seen your stream a lot more recently.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Marble stream Boomin.
Oh gosh, Leon, not this. It used to tilt me so much when people asked me to play marbles on stream. So that's a throwback I really appreciate. But yeah, it was nice meeting all you guys.
So once again, Boomin is from the Team Taptap YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
He did post a lot more videos back then, but he's slowed down on streaming and videos. But check out his stuff. He did a lot more in-depth review of heroes than I bothered to do. So you can check out his stuff for a lot of also how the game used to be. Because I believe you had videos about like the state of the meta and what the game needed back then and all of that stuff. So
yeah, I'm considering streaming and stuff again, but it would be, the videos would be like you were saying, more analytical, and my streams would be really casual. And honestly, I don't stream at the same time as Akari does. This is much later than normal for me. I'm probably more used to getting like people from Europe watching my stream because I stream much earlier than this.
yeah.
But it was always really cool. Like I would stream early, Akari would stream late, and we'd get this crossover. And I think a lot of people thought there was like this rivalry or something, but it's not like we're on bad terms. We just don't talk that much, so it can kind of get confusing, I guess. But
I am honestly always been a lurker. I just don't talk to anybody.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think I think it's really cool that we're both on GT1 and we both used to streamed and stuff. So we can have this, like, we can fight each other. So I would recommend, I'll talk to you more about it later, Akari, on Discord, but maybe if we can do some event for the community.
Oh, yes, yes, you did mention that. If people can come up with something that we can do. I mean, there were people putting together another server that they wanted to all join. It was T1089. And I like the idea. I just can't do it. I just can't make a new account.
Yeah. Some ideas we had, which we could do like a 1+2 star hero tournament, but I'm not sure how many people would apply. If we had like 100 people apply, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take forever. But maybe we could do like a like a World Cup bracket thing would be fun with a bunch of different teams, and it would take a lot of setup, but I think it would be a really fun stream. You'd have like a lot of people come in and have this competition, but it's just some ideas I'm throwing out there, and if Akari agrees with them and you guys enjoy it, I will definitely come on stream again and help facilitate it. But other than that, thanks for having me, Akari. Your stream's really fun. You have got a ton of people in the chat who sound like they're having a good time, so big shout out there, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, thanks for joining.
Yep, peace.
Peace. See you next time. All right. Let me see. So T7 or V17. This is an Android emulator, so it's on my computer, and yes, it's with mouse and keyboard. But iPad, not so much. I don't have an iPad. If you have an iPad, I guess you could hook it up to a mouse and keyboard. You could do that with Bluetooth, right? So, yeah, I mean, we didn't come into this stream with any fixed topics, but I'm glad that we had stuff to chat about for a couple of hours and, you know, a little bit of reminiscing, a little bit of state of the game, a little bit of what we'd like to see. Classics Monkey King is trash for this. Thon, Team Critique, when is Team Critique? I think it's next week. Actually, let me see when my last Team Critique was. Is it this week? Oh shoot. God, where is my here we go. Let me see. When was my last Team Critique stream? I think it was like on the 8th. So I guess it's supposed to be this week, huh? I guess it's supposed to be this week. In which case I can do it on Thursday. Let me see here. Team Critique was... No, Team Critique was last week. Wait. No, that's not right. It was January 7th. So it was 11 days ago. Alright, then I guess Team Critique will be on Thursday. Classics, you have to see the stats of this Monkey King, okay? Let me start you off by saying, okay, this is my Monkey King, okay? Look at his attack. It's 26,000 attack and 900,000 HP. And you can add 18% to this. So my Monkey King has 26,000 attack. Their Monkey King has 600,000 attack. And 5.5 million life. So my Monkey King is not going to do this. NDG community pulls has to be on the last day of the event because I gotta wait for Fuse to reset. I gotta... Stanley, why do you want to be a mod for 10 seconds? That's very odd. Steven, there is no such thing as an ideal PvP team. There is only one that works best on your opponents. So there isn't a single team that's the best anymore. So yeah, I guess Team Critique will be on Thursday. And community pulls will be on the last day of the event. Should you pull 5 keys for fun? You know what? Do whatever makes you happy. I mean, make it to 2 rounds. Starting with 570 keys right now. Easy. Totally easy. You're just going to have to buy a lot from Planet Trial. And also, if you haven't played Peaks yet this week, super easy. If you already played Peaks, you'll just have to buy a lot from Planet Trial. Ban BIOS for playing Peak, for suggesting a Peaks tournament. If I'm not the one playing it, I don't care. If you guys want to make yourself suffer, you know, what do I care? But yeah, if you guys can come up with like tournaments and stuff or ideas, absolutely throw them out. So the reason that Azathoth is good on this team is because I need to stop Monkey King Mars's revive. So Azathoth is actually required for this team. How many keys for 2 rounds? You need 740. T4 Yig or Veg as your tanker. I like Veg as tank, honestly. Yig doesn't need to tank. Veg does so much better when he's tanking. What is my time zone? My time zone is Pacific Standard Time. It is 10 p.m. right now. 9:54 p.m. in my time zone. cross-server competition last time. Did we? I don't recall actually having a competition. I know Boomin had some server stuff. One Kurt copy is worth how many gems? Probably 30,000, 25,000-ish. How many rounds will I be pulling? I'm just going to pull 2 rounds. By doing that, I will be able to get back up to 3 rounds of keys by next event, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if I will. But I'm going to pull 2 rounds for Kurt, which will put me at what? 5 copies? I actually don't know if this is possible with my team, by the way. I could just be retrying for no reason, and this team may not work. Pogi, do you think I should change my team? Like, what team would work on 180? I guess I could do this. I could do this. Or I could do this. I'm not sure how else I would do it. Double skull to beat 170? I beat 170 on all of them with this team. I beat 170 on all 170s minus Moonlight. I beat with this team. No Themis, no 180? Okay, then I just will give up. I will give up and not try anymore. You're also trying. 26 million, Jesus. Alright, then I will give up on this. Well, I don't mind leaving it to retry. I can do that. It's just that I guess without Themis, my RNG needs to be much, much higher than it is. So, I mean, Themis is definitely my next project. I got her a rune already. So, we'll see. Someday I'll get to make her. Is it safe to dump Valk now if you get Vivienne as healer? Healing is not that major at T4, though. Well, I mean, I guess it is. I mean, you're not using Valkyrie for her healing. You're using Valkyrie for her damage reduction. Alright. Well, it's going to be a long, long road. A long, long road. Is Themis better with HLJ defense break than attack Ragnarok? Nope, Ragnarok's better. Wasn't I going to make Yig? Oh, god dang it, you're right. I was going to make Yig next. I guess I work on Yig next, and then Themis, and then Themis is just... Ah, yeah. I gotta finish Yig, because I got the last copies. God, I'm never going to finish Themis. Because it's going to take me like 6 weeks to beat Yig. How many Themis? I got 7 copies. So 2, 7. And then I don't have any in here, so I gotta buy 2 with Moonstones. So, stupid 180. So that guy was asking, what's the max level? And the answer is, who can see past this? Like, who can see? Maybe the highest level is 183. I don't know. And the same thing with Den. What's the max level of Den? Nobody knows. Nobody can see past 613. Which is easy. Like, look at... I believe that these teams will not be so hard. The 605 is just broken. Is Skuld worth Moonstones? Yes. Kyoji, he is not. So you gotta get lucky with converts to get your Yig, because you can't buy him yet. Classics, you know how long it takes to make a T4, right? You know how long it takes to make a T4 from this level, don't you? Like, why should I buy them? I can't finish it. I don't have the fodder. I don't have the gold souls. I don't have the flags. The max is 200. I'll believe it. I just can't see it. Camera icon and den. You know that you're going to see nobody, right? Literally nobody in the world has beaten this stage. Literally nobody in the world has beaten 605. What team can beat 585? Somebody did it with like a double Kurt Themis team or something like that. I'm not sure. It can be done, but it just requires crazy luck. Alright, well, I mean, I guess I'm done for today. NDG, I didn't even try on these bets. I just placed bets. I don't care. I think I'm going to lose. I think I'm going to lose to Perun because he set up his teams really well. And unless I can beat this team, I lose. And I don't think this team beats it. I think I lose. Reven. People are betting on Reven. You know what? Maybe I'll bet on Reven. I think Perun's going to beat me and immediately lose. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll bet on Reven. Whatever. I messed up. I really messed up this time. I thought Perun wasn't going to change his team, but he did, and it's better than mine now. Oh well. Good night, Pogi. So I know that a double, like a Kurt Themis team can do it. If you search on the Discord, people have posted things. People have posted teams, but it's just really hard. All right, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I didn't play Peaks, but whatever. I'll just do it on my own. Wednesday. Maybe I'll take Wednesday off. But I also want to take Friday off, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't really have plans for Wednesday, unless we want to do a second round of community polls, but I don't imagine we need to because what's left? Who hasn't pulled their eyes yet? So I think I'm gonna well, this week will either be really boring or we'll figure it out. All right, good night, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, check out Boomin's channel as well at Team Taptap, and I'll see you guys next time.